Hey there! In this lesson, we're going to start learning how to use the unique features of RidePlayer within our WinScript Live software. Before we get started, I just want to point out that I have a RidePlayer fired up and connected directly to my computer from the primary network control port. Remember, this port is WinScript Live's gateway into RidePlayer. Just make sure that you've configured the control and media sync IP addresses of the primary port, and that the IP address of your laptop is compatible with that configuration. I also want to mention that WinScript Live is a very powerful and feature-rich development environment. If you're a first-time user, you might want to consider taking our Intro to Show Control course so that you can wrap your head around basic concepts like sequences, triggers, variables, and all of the other goodies that are important for show control programming. For now, I'm just going to assume that you're an attentive listener and that you greatly respect my advice. So, I'm not going to cover any of those details in this RidePlayer course. We're here to learn about RidePlayer stuff. With that said, let's get started. I'm going to start by creating a new script. So I'm just going to select RidePlayer here, click Open. Now the first thing we'll notice is this is just like programming any other Alcorn McBride show control device. We've got our sequences view here, and we've got our resources on the left, resources like sequences, inputs, outputs, variables, etc. All the same. What's unique about RidePlayer, remember, is that it has a built-in audio player. So we've got a couple of other additional resources available to us over here, such as audio outputs and media files. So we'll definitely cover both of those in this course, but for now we're just going to start with audio outputs. I'm going to double-click right here. Here we can see our 16 audio outputs. We've got gain adjustments for each, the ability to mute. When we're connected live, we'll actually see a live update of gain levels right here with a little VU meter. And you'll notice that each channel also has an individual label, a descriptive name. If you'd like, you can click on this name and a little properties window will pop up over here to the right, and we can actually make this name whatever we'd like. So if this channel was assigned to be my front left, I could name it front left. This comes in handy later on when we're programming, making it easier to assign our channels of an audio file, for example, to the right output channel. So I highly recommend you do this as one of your first steps when you create a new script. The next thing I want to show you is the audio dashboard, which we can get to by clicking this button up here in the menu. This view also shows us all 16 audio outputs, including the descriptive names we've assigned, and a bunch of other status information that we'll learn about later when we talk about playback control. It also shows the gain stage right over here and the current value. And we also see the signal flow of the output. We can see how the output goes through a DSP stage, which we'll learn about here in a minute, and also gets routed to the network audio and speaker and line outputs right over here. To configure DSP, we just click on this little button in the signal path. So let's say I wanted to apply a low pass filter to my sub output channel. Very common thing. So let me click on this button right here, and I'll get access to the DSP configuration for this channel. So notice that we have 7 layers of filters that we can apply. Like I said, I wanted to do a low pass filter. Let's say I wanted to cut it off at 120 Hertz and below. Super configurable. And we can also see over here to the right, we see both a frequency and phase response curve based on my filters that I apply over here. It's a very cool feature. Now, you can do this on an individual channel basis like I am right here, or if you'd like, you can apply DSP curves to multiple channels. Let me just show you an example of that. Okay, so let's say I had a curve that I wanted to apply to both the front left and front right speakers. I could just click this little box right here, and now whatever I do will apply to both those channels. So let's say I wanted to do a high pass, keep everything above 80 Hertz, and then click apply, and that will apply to both of those channels. We can notice the change back here in the dashboard as well. The DSP is active and being applied to that channel. Another important audio configuration setting is bridging. This is what allows us to achieve 50 watts on a single speaker output. We talked about this earlier as far as the hardware is concerned and how to wire it, but here's how we set it up in the WinScript Live project environment. Let's say I wanted to bridge channels 7 and 8 to achieve 50 watts. All I have to do is click on the DSP button here. We'll get this same familiar DSP screen. However, there's a tab up here called Amplifier Bridging. If I click that, we can see here that it's showing us the current status of both audio channels 7 and 8. Right here, if I select Enable Bridge, we'll see the impact that that will have. Notice how output 8 is now our bridged output. The network audio output for audio output 8 also still exists. However, the line output is now disconnected. Audio output 7 is now only active on the network audio output. Speaker output and line output have both been disabled. Now that the output is bridged, we can just go down here and click Close. We can see the impact of that bridging in our dashboard as well here. So notice how output 7 is only going to network audio, output 8 is going to network audio, but it's also our bridged speaker output. It's that simple. Well, that about wraps it up for audio output configuration. So now would be a good time to save the project, because we're going to use it later throughout this course. We'll see you in the next lesson.